My full screen is not coming. In Apple. Oh, here, okay.
Just a moment. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, you are maximize it. Second. इसको बड़ा कर लेते हैं.
Slide show is here.
Oh, what should I do? अब ठीक है? नहीं अभी. Okay, wait. Sorry, what did you say? यहाँ से.
Slideshow.
Slideshow, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's still showing like this. You just wanted to hit.
Yeah.
Play slide, huh? Play from start.
Okay. Yes, fine.
I don't know why it's showing like that.
You are going to say something as an introduction? Or?
I'll just introduce you briefly.
Yes, please.
This is some problem.
You have or?
देख लीजिए एक को ऐसा देख लो.
Where's the setting?
Play from.
I need to put it on.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं, छोड़ दो. Leave it, no problem.
Too small? No, it's okay. No, it's okay. So it's a great pleasure to welcome Professor M.A. Alvar, who specializes in traditional Sanskrit scholar, specializing in Sanskrit literature, various branches of Indian philosophy and knowledge systems. He's professor of Indian logic at the Maharaj Sanskrit College, affiliated to the Karnataka Sanskrit University. He heads the department at the University of Transdisciplinary Health Sciences and Technology, which deals with the theoretical foundations of Ayurveda and documents, catalogues, and publishes ancient palm leaf manuscripts. And we're very honored to have many of these manuscripts on display at our exhibition. He is managing trustee Sanskriti Foundation, Mysore and Melkote, which is involved in the preservation and propagation of India's cultural and scientific heritage. He is active in transdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research on Indian knowledge systems and other branches of science and technology. He's authored books on these and attended conferences. Today he'll be speaking about mnemonic devices and compositional features, including the Katapayadi system and the role of chandas. So.
काषायशोभिकमनीयशिखानिवेशम् दण्डत्रयोज्ज्वलकरं विमलोपवीतम् उद्यद्दिनेशनिभमुल्लसदूर्ध्वपुण्ड्रम् रूपं तवास्तु यतिराजदृशोर्ममाग्रे. I am extremely delighted to be here addressing this august audience consisting of stalwarts from various walks of life, especially mathematics and other allied fields, especially Sanskrit and manuscriptology. In fact, probably I am a misfit in this audience or in this assembly because I am not a mathematician, I am only a Sanskrit scholar specializing in manuscriptology. And in Sanskrit there is a saying, Hamsa Madhye Bako Yatha. Among a group of Hamsas, if there is a duck, it will automatically be singled out. So probably among the stalwart mathematicians, I am the odd man out. But still, taking some strength from my experience in manuscriptology, I would like to make a brief presentation about the mnemonic devices and compositional features, including Katapayadi system and the role of chandas. In fact, of course, we are already running short of time, but in Sanskrit there is a saying, Yuktam hi vidusham loke samasa vyasa dharanam. So, when the sage Vyasa, who composed 125,000 shlokas of the Mahabharata, was asked to say summarized the Mahabharata in one half. He said, Shlokardhena pravakshyami yaduktam grantha kotibhihi paropakara punyaya papaya parapidana. So he summarized the entire Mahabharata in one half of a shloka. And then we have Ekashloki Mahabharata, Ekashloki Ramayana, Ekashloki Bhagavata, etc. Anyway, without any further delay, I would like to say a few words. Generally, when we Sanskrit scholars talk about something, say these people are dealing with something outdated that has not anything to do with the current scenario, what is the contemporary relevance, etc. And also we find that even today there is a huge amount of people who are telling that Sanskrit is a dead language, etc. But in this context, first of all, I would like to say how the Katapayadi system was made use of in an extremely critical area. So I would just like to narrate a small incident. My revered father, who was one of the first persons in India to contribute a great deal to the contemporary relevance of the Indian knowledge systems, it was in the year 1997, and when India had done the nuclear tests, the American government had withdrawn its permission to let us use their encryption system, which was known as the RSA encryption system. And it so happened that my revered father, Professor Lakshmi Tatachar, who is known to many people here, happened to meet Dr. Abdul Kalam. And he was incidentally mentioning that we have to design our own encryption system. We can no longer depend upon the US and other governments. And he also said, can you suggest something in this regard? Then immediately my revered father, he hit upon this idea, why shouldn't we use the knowledge available in our traditional systems and see what type of encryption has been done? And when we actually examine our Shastras, there is a huge amount of encryption available in our Shastras. Especially if you take the Mantra Shastra, for example. Mantra Shastra is replete with several examples of encryption. So you just have 12 shlokas, and from those 12 shlokas, you derive a 12-syllabled mantra. And in those days, they did it because these mantras should not fall into wrong hands, as we have to protect our nuclear arsenal, etc. today. So there is a decoding system, and only when the decoding system is known, you can decode one syllable from each shloka, and then from the 12 shlokas, you can get the mantra. Similarly, in Kama Shastra, there are several encoding techniques where two persons who love each other, if they have to, they did not have mobile phones in those days. So if they have to converse in front of many people, how do they converse? So there are several examples of encoded speech which was available in those days, which was put to use. So, and then the classical Katapayadi system is there. So he used the Katapayadi system, and also he used the Ekakshara Kosha, for example. In Sanskrit, there is a beautiful kosha. There are many, in fact, many koshas called Ekakshara Koshas. And he used the Katapayadi system at the first level. Then at the second level, he used the Ekakshara Kosha. And then at the third level, he used what is known as the bandhas, which are used like Murja Bandha, Andolika Bandha, Gomutrika Bandha, etc., which are used to author what we call as Chitrakavyas. So he actually performed a permutation and combination of all these systems. And within 15 days, with the help of a local programmer, he encoded a message and gave it to the defense system through Mr. Abdul Kalam. And he said, the proof of pudding is in eating, so you please try to decode the system. And after 15 days, he received a call, sir, we are not able to decode the system. The defense department is ready to accept this encoding system at the level 2, at what they call as level 2 encryption. And directly the technology was transferred to them. And even now the Katapa system, they call it as the Katapa system. And even now I understand that it is being used, but at what level, how, etc., I don't know, because It's a long time since it happened. So we have several encoding systems, especially we use it as mnemonic devices. So when you have to remember a large amount of data or information or knowledge, it is very important that you have mnemonic techniques. So I will just explain it. So mnemonic is a tool for memory, and Indian tradition emphasized oral knowledge systems, and also sound-based learning was primary. This is very important to be noted. And the Katabayadi system is a very simple system. So if you have to memorize that also, it's very easy to memorize it. Kadinava, Tadinava, Padi Pancha, and Yadyashto. This is the entire encoding system, which is once again encoded into four small sentences. Kadinava, Tadinava, Padi Pancha, Yadyashto. So if you say Ka, it is 2. If you say Tha, it is 2. And if you want to say 9, it is Jha or Dha. So like this, I have just shown it in the table. So even you need not memorize this table, because this is the entire formula: Kadinava, Tadinava, Padi Pancha, and Yadyashta. So this allows composing meaningful words versus to remember numeric data. And the Katabayadi system is an ancient Indian method of assigning numerical values to letters of the Sanskrit alphabet to represent numbers as words or verses, making them easier to remember and use in mathematical and astronomical calculations. In fact, not only mathematical and astronomical calculations, it was employed across the spectrum of Indian knowledge systems. You have it in Nyaya, you have it in Vedanta, you have it in Sangeeta Shastra, as I am going to show it. So developed in ancient India and popular in South India, particularly Kerala, it allows for complex concepts like dates, astronomical positions, and mathematical values. So how it works? Letter assignment: specific consonants are assigned numerical values, as I have shown in the table. Repetitions and 0. Multiple letters can correspond to the same number. Vowels and some consonants can represent 0. And letters in a word are converted to their assigned numbers and then read as a sequence of digits. And the sequence of digits is then reversed to get the final numerical value. And the system allows for flexibility by choosing vowels and consonants to form meaningful and easy to remember words or verses. So for example, according to the Vishishtadvaita tradition, how many sutras are there in the Brahma Sutras? It is generally difficult to remember. And how many adhikaranas are there? That is, you can roughly translate it as chapters. So a great poet called Vedanta Deshika, he has mentioned it as Sautri Sankhya Shubhashihi Adhikriti Ganana Chinmayi Brahmakande. So how many sutras are there? He says it is Shubhashihi. So from the table you can say Sha is 5, then Bha is 4, and then once again Sha is 5. So it is 545. So when you listen to this Shubhashihi, it is a very appealing word, but at the same time in this context it means 545. And then once again Adhikriti Ganana Chinmayi Brahmakande. How many adhikaranas are there? He says it is Chinmayi. So Cha is how much? 6, Ma is 5, and Ya is 1. And then once again, as we always do, we have to read it from the right. So it is 156. So it is a very novel way of saying how many adhikaranas are there. It is Chinmayi, which actually means 156. And this is applied across the spectrum. Now, for example, if you take there is a specific method of chanting the Sundarakanda in 16 days. So first day you have to chant 5, next 5, it has total of 68 sargas. So in that first day you have to chant 4, 5, 8, 1, like that. So it's very difficult to remember. So they have given a beautiful formula which says Raghavasya Padadvandvam Dadyadamita Vaibhavam. It's also very meaningful, because when you actually chant the Sundarakanda in this way in 16 days, what will happen? Raghavasya Padadvandvam, the divine feet of Lord Rama, will give us a lot of prosperity. Radyad Amita Vaibhavam. This is one formula.
Does he also give for karma kanda?
Yes, of course. It is used in Purva Mimamsa also.
No, same verse.
No, it's for different. Different verse.
Adhigati Chinmayi. No,
The Jinmayi Brahmakanda, no, he has mentioned it in Adhikarana Saravani, which is dealing with Brahmakanda only. Of course, Karmakanda, I think, Varna Bhatta's work also it is available. And then, Raghavo Vijayan Dadyat Tamasita Patih Prabhu. This is the formula, and nobody will know that it is a formula because it is encoded in the Katapayadi system. And as I said, the Katapayadi system is exclusively used in mathematics and astronomy in a very unique manner. So this is the shloka. Anu nanu nanunna nanunna nunna nityai, etc. So it is even difficult to pronounce because it's this one. So you have this Madhava's sign table constructed in the 14th century by the Kerala mathematician astronomer of Sangamagrama, and he employs the Katapayadi system to list the trigonometric signs of the angles. So you can see it gives the circumference of a circle of diameter, whatever it is, as Chandamshu Chandradhama Kumbhipalaihi, etc. So when you actually read this shloka, you never realize that it is giving the mathematical value, and it stands for something very profound and very significant. So Karana Paddhati, written in the 15th century, has the following shloka for the value of pi. And then when you come to Sangeeta Shastra, it's very, very interesting. So the Katapayadi system scheme associates with, for example, Dhira Shankarabharanam. So in this what happens, there are 72 Melakarta ragas, as we all know, which are the main ragas, and from them there are innumerable Janya ragas, as we call them. So you have to take the first two syllables to determine which is the number of the Melakarta raga among the 72. So now if you take Dhira Shankarabharanam, it is Dhi and Ra. So these dhas, you have to discount this for us. So Dhi, you leave out E, it is Dha and Ra. That means 9 and 2. So when you reverse it, it becomes 29. Hence the raga's Melakarta number is 29. 29 less than 36, hence Dhira Shankarabharanam has Ma1. Then the entire, that scale is also given in this itself. So divide 28 by 6, the quotient is 4 and the remainder is 4. Therefore this raga has Re 2, Ga 3, that is quotient is 4, Dha 2, Ni 3, remainder is 4. Therefore the raga scale is Sa Re at the second level, Ga at the third level, Ma at the first level, Pa at the default level, Dha at 3, Ni at 3 and Sa. Similarly, same thing happens when we talk about the raga, that is Mecha Kalyani. So Ma is 5 and Cha is 6. So it is, the number is 65. And the scale of the raga is beautifully given by using the Katapayadi system. And once again, when we talk about the Chandas Shastra, in fact, the Laghu Guru symbols are that which was used later in the binary, which we call as 0 and 1 codes. So it is, he has broken down the entire system into Laghu and Guru, which one could say that it actually inspired the binary form of counting, that is 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 and 1. And it's also an easy early form of combinatorics. And extensively in Chandas Shastra, for example, when we talk about, for example, the Shikharini Vritta. So in the Shikharini Vritta, how many alphabets or letters are there? And where do you actually break it? We call it as Yati Niyama. So the rule is given like this: Rasai Rudraish Chinna Yamanasa Bhalaga Shikharini. So you have 17 letters in this chandas that are vritta, and you cannot, nobody can actually tell all the 17 alphabets in a single go. So you have to break it. So where do you break it? So he says Rasaihi Rudraihi Chinna. That means you have to break. Rasa represents the number 6 because there are Shed rasas. Madhuram Lalavana Katukashaya Tikta Bhedat Rasaha Shedvidha. So you break at 6. Then Rudras. So there are Ekadasha Rudras. So among the 33 Devatas, you have Ekadasha Rudras, Dvadasha Adityas, and Ashtau Vasavaha, which makes it 31. And then Ashwini Devatas, which makes it 33. So Rasaihi Rudraihi Chinna Yamanasa Bhalaga Shikharini. So there are 17 alphabet letters in this vritta, and you have to break after 6. And then you tell all the other 11 in one go. So it is Kuputro Jayeta. There you break. Then Kvachidapi Kumata Nabhavati. It's a beautiful vritta. So Shankaracharya and all other great poets use this vritta extensively. So thus it is used in Chandas Shastra. And the attempt to identify the most pleasing sounds and perfect compositions led ancient Indian scholars to study permutations and combinatorial methods of enumerating musical meters. And Pingala Sutras includes a discussion of the binary system rules to calculate permutations of Vedic meters also. Vedic meters are quite different from the Laukika meters that are used by Kalidasa, Bhavabhuti, Bhasa, etc. in classical Sanskrit. And Pingala's algorithms were generalized by Sharangadeva to rhythms which use 4 kinds of beats, Druta, Laghu, Guru and Pluta, of durations 1, 2, 4 and 6 respectively. And this is very well documented in the Sangeeta Ratnakara. And finally, before I complete, I would just like to give 2 or 3 examples. When Ramanujacharya went to Kashmir, he wanted to get the Bodhayana Vritti, or a commentary of the great sage Bodhayana, which was actually needed for him to author his Bhashya. And the day he went there, he was given the Bodhayana Vritti, which he gave to his disciple, who was known as Kuresha, and he was asked to study it. But suddenly, due to certain incidents, they were asked to return the manuscript the next day itself. Then Ramanujacharya was perturbed. Oh, what do I do? How do I? They have taken it back now. How do I refer to it once again? Then his great disciple Kuresha said, "Don't worry, sir. I have mastered the entire Bodhayana Vritti in one night." So many a times we feel it might be difficult to do that. In fact, in Karnataka, there was a great scholar called Jayatirthacharya, and he knew the entire Mahabharata, Ramayana and Bhagavata. He had memorized it. So totaling about 200,000 shlokas. So how did he do it? It was simple. When he was a young boy of about 7 years, in those days in the house there used to be an attic. They call it as an attic. And there used to be a ladder. And his father would ask him to sit on the attic and remove the ladder. And he would say, "Unless you memorize 100 shlokas today, I will not let you down." So he had to do that, otherwise even to use the washroom he could not come down. So he was forced to do it. But the beauty of the thing is, first day he will take about 4 or 5 hours to memorize 100 shlokas. But the second day he will take 5 minutes less. The third day he will take 5 minutes less. But after 1 year, he can do it without any effort, and 100 shlokas will probably take not even 100 minutes, it may take 50 minutes. See, the memory of the mind is so much, the capacity of the mind to store memory is actually astronomical in a way. So my revered father used to say, we are always thinking about increasing the memory in the phone. Today you have 512 GB here or 1 TB, but you have to try to increase your memory power here, not here. And he says it is very much possible. And we also had a great scholar in our tradition, Parashara Bhattar. So when he used to go to his guru to learn the Vedic mantras, Samhita, etc., it's a long sentences. Ishet vorjetva vayavastho payavastha devo avasthavita prarpayetu shreshtatama yakarmana apyayadhamagniya bhagamurjasvati payasvati prajapati ranamiva ayakshma mavastenai shatamagashakam so rudrasya hetis parivo vranaktu dhruva asmin gopato syat bhakver yajamanasya pashun pahi. This is one sentence. So the next day he went to the class. He did not go to the class. Then his father scolded him, "Why did you not attend to the Vedic class?" He said, "They are repeating the same lesson every day. Why should I go?" And there is one more great scholar called Venkatadhari who has written a very beautiful kavya called Vishwagunadarsha Champu. Once he was present in a place where there was a big fight, that is fight, not physical fight. There were two people were fighting. They were actually scolding each other and having a fight. Then they went to the king to get the fight resolved. Then the king said, "Do you have any witness?" Then they said there was one scholar who was the witness, so we can try to bring him. But they were actually having a fight in Oriya language. Then Venkatadhari was brought there. He said, "I don't know the meaning, but I can, as a sound, I can repeat the entire conversation, what happened between them." And he was able to repeat the entire conversation just by grasping the sounds. So these are the examples that we have from our traditional Guru Parampara. And finally, how do we make it popular? How does it actually get used in a modern context? So we can build mnemonic software. I can give 100 other examples. For example, how to remember the names of the Puranas. You have a shloka, Madvayam, Bhadvayam, Chaiva, etc. So like that, there are hundreds of examples. Similarly, semantic linking apps, etc. And audio first pedagogy. Now, we always think about the orthographic representation. And my revered father says, don't give any book to the children when you are teaching them. Let them grasp the sound alone, which will be of great help in the long run also. And we have seen that there are several Vedic scholars, even today, who are above 90, but their memory has not failed them. So it is very important that the audio first pedagogy is used as inspired by Ramanujacharya, Panini, etc. And finally, to end, I would like to say Indian systems blend logic, sound, and structure. This is a unique combination. No Western country has this facility, or they have not hit upon this idea. And reviving mnemonic pedagogy can boost modern learning and memory. So these are the takeaways from this talk, as I can say. Of course, there are several other takeaways that are available in our traditional Shastras. Only we need, if I may use that word, we need the wherewithal to engage in these activities, go deep into this. And I'm really happy that persons like Professor Ram Subramaniam, a great bridge builder who is bridging the past and the present for the future, if I may say like that, and Dr. M.D. Srinivas, Dr. Sriram, and several other stalwarts are here. Kindly excuse me if I've omitted any names. So I think this endeavor should go on in a very systematic and sustained manner, and I'm sure this can result in several path-breaking discoveries, and also it can create a strategic progress for our Indian knowledge systems in the entire world, and show to the world how our knowledge is eternally relevant. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll now come to our final speaker, which is whom we've already heard. It was a wonderful performance yesterday. So he'll be speaking, Professor Deepak Paramashivan, who will be speaking on From Rag to Rhythm, Mathematical Structures in Indian Folk and Classical Music.
Namaste, everyone.
One minute.
Okay. Due to paucity of time, I don't know how much I'll be able to cover. I mean, I had different plans, especially after attending all the sessions yesterday. Instead of getting into the gory details of the math behind music, I thought I'll maybe make you. We'll have an interactive session where you can participate in how we create music using the mathematical foundations that are there in Indian music that have been prescribed by Sarangadeva or Bharata and so on. So just briefly take you through the history. Now, historically, we all know musicians and mathematicians were not different. All the musicians, I mean, they were mathematicians in their own right. Right, in at least in India, Bharata proposes the Sarana Chatushtaya of tuning the veena, and Sarangadeva's Prastaras, and of course we have the Pythagorean tuning, and René Descartes, his arithmetic foundations of music in his Compendium Musicae, and which was critiqued by William Broncker, and for the first time when pitch was identified as frequency, which is attributed to Newton, the acoustic of science started. Anyways, so both are based on sophisticated, because I thought I'll compare different systems of music. Anyways, for the first time we hear the Saptaswaras in Natya Shastra chapter 17. Tadyatha Saptaswaraha Trini Sthanani Chatvaro Varnaha Dvividha Kakuhu Shadalankarah Shadanganiti. येषाम् इदानीं लक्षणम् अभिव्याख्यास्यामः तत्र सप्तस्वराः नाम षड्ज ऋषभ गान्धार मध्यम पंचम धैवत निषादाः तयेते रसेषु उपपाद्याः. So these 7 swaras, I mean, he also gives, it's in a chapter on the Pathyakrama, the Geya part of drama, and he talks about the different sthanas, Uras, Kantha and Shiras, the different places where you generate sound, the chest sound, the head sound, and the throat sound, and all that. And then he talks about the Saptaswaras, the Shadja, Rishabha, Gandhara, and so on. I mean, the word Shadja itself, because since all the remaining 6 swaras are generated from this note, it is called Shadja. And first instance of notation can be found in the Kudumiyamalai inscription, the Shikheshwara temple. Kudumi means Shikha in Sanskrit. And Varnaha, Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita, Kampita Varnaha, Chatvaro Varnaha, Kampitam. Yeah. Notation was standardized in the Western system of music around 11th to 13th century. In fact, there were only 6 notes to begin with in the Western system, the ut, re, mi, fa, sol. The 7th note got added much later. The word gamma ut, ut, re, mi, fa, sol. Then the word gamut comes from that. Okay, I can skip this. All right, so Vedic octave. So the concept of octave is very ancient. We had the Vedic octave, which starts with the Krishtadi. The Krishta is the 7th note, which is followed by Prathama, Dvitiya, and so on, and the Shashta. Shashta was also called Atiswarya. And there were equivalent 7 notes, octaves in the Laukika Gana. So the music was divided into the Vedika Gana and Vaidika Gana and Laukika Gana. The Laukika was the secular music, and the Vaidika was the religious music. And there was also a third set of chromatic notes called the Karshana, which was used in Sama for embellishment. And there were 3 notes, Udatta, Anudatta, which were a semitone apart. When you have the main note, you have a note that is above that note, which is the Udatta, Anu Paschat, that which is below it was called the Anudatta. In fact, that has served as the basis for all the notes even now. When we have a note, we have the Re1 or Ni, or if you take Re1, you have the Re2 or Sa, and so on. So in fact, even though we talk about the 22 Shrutis come because each note was among the 7 notes, each note was given this plus and minus range. But Taittiriya Pratishakya makes a very important observation that Vedic singers, they decided we really don't want these 22 Shrutis. We are happy with 12. which is exactly what is what we have in the Western music, the sharp and the flat and the enharmonic. For example, Re1, if you consider that as the main note, that will become Sa, and Re2 will become Re1, and Ni will become, the Sa will become Ni2. I'll just show you how it happens. Anyways, in Narada Shiksha, there is the verses where it establishes one-to-one correspondence between the Samagana notes and the Laukika notes. Prathamascha, Dvitiyascha, and so on. Yeah, yes, Samaganam Prathamaha sa Venor Madhyama Swaraha. That which is the Prathama Swara of Samagana becomes the Madhyama Swara of Venu, which is the flute. Flute always served as the basis back then for Shruti. In Western music, you have the oboe that even now in an orchestra gives you the pitch. So back then it was the Venu. And so there he establishes this equivalence, which swara corresponds to which swara in the Samagana and the Laukika Gana. Kohala alone makes, he comes up with an exception. Okay, we can skip that. It's not, yeah. So now coming to this question of what is a raga. Anyways, we don't find the word raga until Matanga's Brihad-deshi. In Natya Shastra, he talks about Murchana. He never talks about raga. So then again, there are different kinds of music. The Margadeshi Vibhagena Sangeetam Dvividham Matam Yo Margitaha Virinchadyaihi. So that which is pursued or enjoyed by Brahma and other gods, and which was performed by Bharata, that was the Marga Sangeeta. Then you have the Deshi Sangeeta. Deshe Deshe Jananam Yadrichya Hridaya Ranjakam. So that which pleases and appeals the hearts of people in different regions becomes the Deshi Sangeeta. Geetam Vadyam Chandrityancha Tad Deshiti Abhidiyate. Again, Ranjako Janachittanam sa Ragaha. So there is a definition. So what is a raga? A combination of these 7 notes, Sarigama, Pada, Ni. And there are 72 Melakartas in the Carnatic system and the 10 thoughts in Hindustani. I mean, even for someone who came up with the system of 72, Venkatamukhi himself says 29 are enough for all practical purposes, but it's of theoretical importance. It's actually a beautiful idea how he came up with the number 72. So why 72? A sthai, which is an octave. Let us say Sa has the initial frequency F2. It so happens that the upper Sa will have exactly 2 F0 as the frequency. So maybe, I'll, why don't you all just hum this Sa for a while? Just listen to this and hum Sa for a while, and then we'll do something with the Tala, and then I'll wind up. Just listen to this. Everybody. Wonderful. Sa. Sa. Yes, so these frequencies, starting with F0, and it so happens that Re1 will have exactly the value QF0, and Re2 will have exactly Q square F0, and so on. And when you hit the upper Sa, Sa, Pa, Sa, it will have 2 F0. So Q par 12 will be equal to 2, and Q will be equal to 2 par 1 by 12, which is an irrational number. So all instruments, discrete instruments, are approximate sounds. They cannot give you exact value of the note, which is why we have this system of gamaka in order to realize some of those intermediate frequencies. All right, so these swaras in this given sthai, starting with F0, are called Sa, Re1, Re2, Gavan, Gatu, Mavan, Matu, Pa, Dhavan, Datu, Nivan, Nitu, and Sa. What Venkatamukhi did was he came up with a brilliant idea. He called Re2 as Ga0 and Ga1 as Re3. So he came up with this system where if you're anybody who's interested can just do it. It's a simple combinatorics problem. You will get 72. The total number of ragas will be 72. So because each slot will have Sa and Pa are fixed, Re will have 3 values, and Ga will have 3 values, Ma will have 2, and so on. So you will get altogether 72 ragas. And in both Carnatic and Hindustani, so this sa, which we all sang now, that F0 frequency is called the Adhara Shadja. I mean, in the system, two systems, we have different names for these swaras. I mean, what we call as Shuddha Rishabha in Carnatic becomes Komal Rishabh, and in Hindustani you don't have this Chatushruti Dhaivata or Shatshruti Rishabha and these notes. Okay. Pratyayas in Sharangadeva Sankita Ratnakara. I'll not get into the details. If you want more details, please read Professor MD's paper. It's a brilliant paper where he has talked about all the techniques of Prastara. Anyways, Prastara has 3 steps. One is the Meru, in which you enumerate all the possibilities. And in the second step, there is the Uddishta, which is the other aspect of Prastara, where given a metric pattern, you find the corresponding row number. And the other one is the Nashta, where you given a row number, you know what exactly the pattern is. And chapter 1 talks about Tana, and chapter 5 talks about the Tala Adhyaya. There are different Merus, this Khanda Meru and Samyoga. In fact, Khanda Meru was used by Ustad Abdul Karim Khan and Ustad Abdul Wahid Khan, which Amir Khan learned, Ustad Amir Khan Sahib learned, and he used it in his music extensively. Anyways, now talking about Laghu, Drita, Guru and Pluta, these are the different Angas of Tala. And where did they get this? They got it from prosody. It comes from Chandas Shastra. The Tala solely depends on Chandas Shastra so much. It has borrowed so much. Yeah, okay, I think I can skip this. All right. Now, let us take this example. As I had promised you yesterday, I'll tell you how I do what I do. I mean, even though it looks like whenever I present music outside, the first thing that everyone gets really mind blown about Indian music is that it's improvisatory in nature. I mean, do we really create it out of thin air? I mean, yes, we do, but still there is a method to doing that. And this method was given by Sangeet. Unfortunately, this is not being taught in the current curriculum. In the old Mysore school, there were some Veena players who used to teach this, learning all the combinations, all the merus possible, so that when you are singing, it has become your second nature. You are at will able to invoke the meru, just to depending on the mood. All right. Now just consider this Sari Gama, and I'll just show you for a couple of minutes how exactly I use this to improvise music. The very first one is Sari Gama. So that is Sari Gama. Risa Gama. Saga Rima. Gasa Rima. Riga Sama. Gari Sama. I am not done with all the enumeration. It's just the 4 notes. Now, depending on my mood, I have just stopped on Re Saga. I am using the second Meru, the second metric pattern, and I have not used the Ma yet. So I just jumped to the 5th one. Re ga sa ga re sa ga re re sa re. Just 4 notes. I can spend all my day. It's possible. Sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. This is how improvisation is taught in Indian music. I mean, unfortunately, the system is lost now. I don't know, maybe we should bring it back. Because, when you teach music, students, the first thing that they get confused with is how do you improvise? Until you teach them compositions, they are perfectly comfortable. The moment you ask them to create something on their own, that is when they hit a cul-de-sac. But this is the system, which is a brilliant system, which is given by Sarangadeva, which you can learn. If just 4 notes, you can spend all your day. As I said, I mean, you don't even need 4 notes. Just take sa, ri, ga. See, I'm still sa, ri, ga, ri, sa, ga. I'm still hovering on these two metric patterns. See, that's the beauty. That's the beauty. I can spend all my day, but we don't have time. Okay. All right. Again, so this is. I can skip this since we don't have time. Yeah, we talk about consonance and dissonance in Vadi and Samvadi. Let me go to this. Bharata makes a very interesting observation, in his 22nd chapter and also in 28th chapter. So what exactly is a Vadi? The Vadi note will be always in the 9th and 13th Shruti. So what are those Shrutis? So these are again different intervals, starting with Sa. Sa has 4 Shrutis and reoccurs at 7th. It's due to an anonymous author, Chatushraiva, Shadja Madhyama Panchamaha. So Sa will get 4 and Madhyama will get 4 and Panchama will get 4. I mean, if you start adding from 0, Sa will occur on the 4th Shruti and Ma will occur on the 4th Shruti from Ga. So Shadja Madhyama Panchamaha and so on. Okay, so these pitch distances 432, 4432 corresponds exactly to a raga, which is called maqam in the Middle Eastern music, called Rast. It's the most popular maqam in the Middle Eastern music. I mean, there is a misconception that Carnatic music came from Middle East and whatnot. I mean, yeah, you might as well claim Karnataka came from Middle East, but it's okay. But there is, in all likelihood, because the word maqam also means, in Hindi we say, just maqam par hum pahunche hai, we have arrived at this, what's the word for maqam in English? Yeah, destination. Same way, in Sankita Ratnakara, there is a verse, Gramaha Swara Samuhasyat Murchanadehe Sam Ashraya. Maqam also means Ashraya, that kind of destination. So what is Grama? It's a Swara Samuha, it's a group of Swaras, and it's the destination, it's the Adhara for Murchanas. Murchanas were the equivalents of the ragas. You could generate from these pitches just by changing, for example, making Re2 as Sa, you can come up with another raga, or making Ga2 as Sa. So this is how you had these 3 gramas, Shadja, Madhyama and Gandhara grama. Gandhara grama became obsolete. Okay. All right, Tala. Talastala pratisthayam iti dhatoho ghani smritaha. So the ghani pratyaya comes on tal dhatu. That's how you derive the word tala, which tal actually means the talaha tal pratisthayam. So in order to establish something, that is tala. This comes in the very first shloka of Taladhyaya. Nanu, it's actually a beautiful, Simha Bhupala writes a beautiful commentary on this. Nanu Anavachinasya kalasya katham tat parichedakatvam. See, how if kala cannot be delimited, then how is that we are doing? He says, Tatra aha laghu adi mitaya. So using laghu, drita, pluta and guru, so we are trying to delimit time. Panchalaghu akshara Ucharamita Matra. Here he defines what Laghu actually means. Pancha Laghu Akshara Ucharamita Matra. So the time duration taken for uttering 5 Laghus, Kachata Tapa, for example, that becomes 1 Matra. And Laghu will have 5, Guru will have exactly twice that, and Pluta will have, it's not Pluto, my God, okay, thrice that, and Druta will have half of it. In fact, there is no Anudrita. In now Carnatic music, we have an anga called Anudrita, which is just a clap. He says Anudrita is not possible because Bharatena Anuktatvat. Bharata doesn't talk about Anudrita, so we are also not talking about Anudrita. But it got added much later. In none of Bharata's Prayogas, it was there. All right. Now, broadly, now there are two types of talas, Chaturashra, Trishra, that's all. I mean, that's the most natural talas that are possible, the 4 and the 3. And everything else is, combination. I think Kronecker said this. God gave us only integers, everything else is man's invention, something like that. So it's like that. What is natural to us is Chaturashra and Trishra. Everything else is a combination of this. So Chachat Putta, these are also called Chachat Putta and Chacha Putta in Ratnakara. And very interestingly, he says, Yatha Aksharascha Dvikalaha, Yathaksharascha Dvikalaha Chatushkalaha. There are 3 kinds within this. Pratyekam tau Namagataihi Galaihi Tatra Yathaksharam. You just go read the name of the tala itself, and depending on the Guru and Laghu, Galaihi, Gala, Guru and Laghu, Tatra, that will become Yathakshara. And there are some exceptions here and there. For example, Chachat Putetu Antyam Plutam Viduhu. In Chachat Putatala, the last beat will become Pluta. Let's take Chachat Puta itself for example. Chat, Chat, Pu. Guru, Guru, Laghu. And the last one will be Pluta because it's an exception. So now Guru will have, let us say, 2 beats, considering Laghu as 1 and Pluta as 3. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 3 takata dhimi takita takata dhimi takita takata dhimi takita Chaturashra. And how do you make it Dvikala? Just instead of 1 2, make it slower. 1 2 1 2 1 1 2 3 1 2 1. Where is the inspiration for all this? Comes from prosody. So we used to play this little game. We should try this. Take Anna's name. Rama Subramanyam. Okay, just clap. Rama Subramanyam. Rama Subramanyam. Rama Subramanyam. Rama Subramanyam. Sorry, you can clap on every day. Rama Subramanyam. Try everybody. Just say his name and clap. Rama Subramanyam. Rama Subramanyam. Takita, takita, takadim. Takita, takita, takadim. Takita, takita, takadim. This is takita, takita, takadim. This is a 10 akshara, 10 beat cycle, which is called the Jhaptal in Hindustani. Dhinna, thi, dhinna, dhinna, thi, dhinna, dhinna, thi, dhinna. And that becomes twice of Kanda Chapu. Taka, takita, taka, takita, taka, takita, taka, takita, taka, and so on. All the talas were named exactly like that. Chacha Putta. Chacha Puttaha. Guru, Laghu, Laghu, Guru. See, Chacha. 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 2 taka timmi taka taka timmi taka. This is the classic Rupaka Tala and Dadra. Dhin dhinna thi dhinna dha dhinna dha dhinna dha dhinna dha dhinna. Dadra in Hindustani music. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Just you divide Guru Laghu and Laghu Guru. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 taka dhimi taka taka dhimi taka. And you have other talas like Shatpita Putra and Sampakveshtaka and so on that are. It's a beautiful theory. And how it is implemented, we'll do a very simple one. I want all of you to say Tadi Ginatom, Tadi Ginatom, Tadi Ginatom. Just say Tadi Ginatom, Tadi Ginatom, Tadi Ginatom. How many bits are there? Tadi Ginatom. 5. Okay. Now if I say in Aditala 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, each beat will get, let us say, 4 syllables. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So, and the Aditala goes like this: 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is the structure of Aditala. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Altogether 16 plus 16, 32 syllables are there. Now we want, let us say, Tadikinato is to be said thrice. Any Muktaya will be said thrice, which is why it is called Tihai. Okay. So now Tadikinato, Tadikinato, Tadikinato. So 15. and out of 32 you need only 15. So how many bits you are going to subtract? 32 minus 15, 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is 16, 1 is 17. So just I'll give you the beat. All of us will say tadiginato 3 times. 1, 2, 3, mi tak jenu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Tadiginatum, tadiginatum, tadiginatum. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Tadiginatum, tadiginatum, tadiginatum. See, this I use when I'm singing. This is how you compose this muktayas or the tihais. You know, and you can, again, sky is the limit. You can do really crazy things. And there are what are known as jatis within this, which is particularly used in the folk music. In Banaras, it has a very rich tradition of thumris, what are known as the talfire thumris. It keeps changing. It was, there is a folk song which was based on a thumri. Bhala Rama Sahaya, Bhala Rama Sahaya, Doretidu Jaya Dara 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 Dara. Keeps changing. Tak 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 tak. Then again you tanta kanta danta kanti mandha kanta katmuchan. That kind of lilting rhythm. Then again it comes back to 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2. See, this is called gati bedha. You just keep changing tishra chaturashra. In fact, if you have heard Cheti Bhavan Nikhila Keti Kadamba Vanavati Shunaka Patali. So that's a typical takatakita 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 takatakita. It's actually 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 takatakita 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 takatakita. It's the same duration, but it creates an illusion in your mind that it is not 4 but it is 5. In the same way, it is the same duration. It gives you an illusion that it's, let us say, if I do something like Mishta Tadin Kinatu Tadin Kinatu Tadin Kinatu Tadin Kinatu Tadin Kinatu Tadin Kinatu Takatimi Takita Takatimi Takita Takatimi Takita Takatimi Takita Tadin Kinatu. It's not. But if I say 1 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3, it's the same duration, the same rhythm can give you different kinds of illusions. Tishra, Chaturashra, Khanda, Mishra, and Sankirna. And what do we do when we are actually performing? We combine all this. We create tihais, we use different jatis. So there are what are known as 10 pranas, dasha pranas of tala. So we use all these dasha pranas when we are performing. So different combination depending on the mood. We might decide to do a muktaya, or we might just try to change the nade, which is also called gati. All right. I thought, since it's a Asian manuscript, I thought I'll give you a flavor of other musics too, but I think we are running short of time. When you can see all this, these things coming together in Indian folk music. See, there is a community called Koraga in coastal Karnataka. They have this different drums that are played together not in unison, but the same rhythm cycle. They are all played in syncopation. Maybe I can skip this. If do we have time? 1 minute, or should I stop? I'll stop. Okay, all right. Okay, in that case, I want you all to participate. Okay. Dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka. All of you just keep saying this. Dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka. I want more voices, please. Otherwise, I can't, it won't be enjoyable. Dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka, dhim, taka. Keep going. Dhim, taka, dhim, 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 taka, taka, dhim, dhim, taka, dhim, 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 taka, dhim, 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 taka, dhim, 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 taka, dhim, 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 dhim. See, one set of drums will be playing one layer of rhythm. There is another set of drums that are playing another layer. So this kind of syncopation, there is a rhythmic harmony, and you find it a lot in a lot of folk music traditions in India. Okay, I think I'll stop at this. Just all right. Thank you. Oh, yeah, so there are some syncopation patterns in West Africa, which is again really brilliant. In fact, the tala that I showed you, that Chachatputa, is a very popular rhythm cycle in West African music. They use it for their war dance. It's a form called Achai Bekor. That's hard to say. Maybe they are, because India had trade links with pretty much every part of the world, so maybe there is some link. And it's equally possible that they might have come up with this, because it's something natural. This 4x4 is very natural for the human mind. It's we are hardwired to think in 4x4.
Thank you so much. That was marvelous. This can be, before we move to the valedictory session, I think we're at the close of the... I'd also like to request Dr. Sudha Gopalakrishnan to honor our 4 speakers for this afternoon. Professor Raju. I think Professor Rothman. Professor Alvar.
There is so much to thank you for, right from all those 50 manuscripts.
And Professor Paramashivan.
And you too. So much of, we enjoyed yesterday's and also today's very much.
So we'll move to the valedictory session. May I request Professor